Lewis Hamilton leaving Mercedes to try his luck at Scuderia Ferrari will make the 2025 season very interesting. It was a move that set the silly season in motion like a whirlwind. That's about the only positive thing I can think of about this whole ordeal. After thinking long and hard about Hamilton moving to the Maranello team for hours and hours, running every scenario possible, I can conclude that this won't end well. In the next 10 minutes or so, I'll tell you exactly why. I'm Wimbo. Here's 3 seconds to leave a like. Predecessors. Before Lewis Hamilton joined Ferrari as a world champion, there was Sebastian Vettel, who left the team a broken man. Vettel had won 4 titles in a row with Red Bull, but in the hybrid era the Renault engines they used were poor, and after a bad season in 2014, the German left Red Bull to do what his mentor Schumacher did and joined Ferrari. The Ferrari engine wasn't a match for the overpowered Mercedes engine. Vettel was in contention for a championship a bit in 2017 and in 2018, but was always comfortably beaten by Lewis Hamilton. He was teamed up with Kimi Raikkonen for a long time there, who did manage to win the championship in 2007 in one of the strangest seasons ever. After years of trying to win another championship, Kimi left the team to chill with Sauber for a few years before retiring. Then there was Fernando Alonso, who finished second behind Vettel 3 times before he left the team for McLaren in 2015. That's just 3 relatively recent examples of Ferrari putting a world champion behind the wheel and then failing to win the title. There is something magical about driving in the red of Ferrari. It's something every driver has on his to-do list, it seems. They all think that they're the ones that will bring glory to Maranello. Unfortunately, they usually leave the Italian national Formula 1 team in a worse state than when they joined. It all stems from what the great Michael Schumacher managed to do in a Ferrari. Winning 5 titles in a row from 2000 to 2004 was an amazing achievement. I'm sure that one of Hamilton's motivations to join Ferrari is to also win one in the team of Schumi. I think he's not gonna win anything at Ferrari. That team has broken the toughest drivers out there. I think Lewis Hamilton will join the Ferrari graveyard of champions. Time is ticking. What every driver signing for Ferrari believes is that they can achieve what Michael Schumacher did with them in 2000. The goal is always to bring back glory to the Maranello team and make the Tifosi proud. What Schumacher achieved was indeed amazing, but he didn't do it on his own, and even more important, it didn't happen overnight. Schumacher joined Ferrari in 1996 and started building from there. The right people were brought in, which made it all possible. Ross Brawn and Jean Todt fought the political side of the Italian team, and eventually the results came. I don't see that happening with Lewis Hamilton. If the car in 2025 isn't a title contender straight away, then that'll be it for that season. There will be an overhaul in the engines in 2026, which makes it uncertain who will be the strongest in that season. If Red Bull manages to create a decent engine, they will be a strong team again, as the ground effect is still a factor. Lewis Hamilton doesn't have the time to wait for another set of regulations, I don't care how fit he is. Then there's his mentality to take into consideration too. This season the Mercedes car isn't great, just like the 2 seasons before. You can tell the man from Stevenage has already switched off. Of course, I know it's hard to stay motivated when you had it in your notice. I've been in that situation before and it sucks. Those months take extra long when you're looking forward to a new challenge. Still, I don't think he has the mentality to sit out another 2 seasons without the prospect of winning. Fernando Alonso is way stronger in that department, and I just made a video about him retiring. I also think his impact on development is highly overrated. Last season we heard time and again how he was spending extra time in the factory to tell them what a race car needs. The result is seen in the W15, a car that still has loads of problems, like porpoising, just like 2 years ago. No, time is ticking and Ferrari won't bring him a championship, and he won't bring a championship to Ferrari, unless Massa wins. Expectations are high. Another problem is that the expectations he brings are massive. Never before has a 7-time world champion entered the Ferrari domain. He brings a very vocal and loyal fan base to be mixed with the Tifosi, and they all expect prizes. You can see on social media that Mercedes are the bad guys now. Mercedes' strategy is favoring Russell, and all the nasty experiments are done on poor Lewis's car. Toto Wolff has let Lewis down big time, and the glory days are quickly forgotten. That attitude is brought to Ferrari now, a team famous for strategic blunders and reliability issues, and above all, they have always been bigger than any driver. They don't accept a driver mouthing off the team in the media. Leclerc and Sainz have always been very well behaved, even though they had plenty to be angry about after certain races. I'm sure that Hamilton will be very tactical about things in interviews. He's always been good at that. But I doubt his fans will be the same. Team LH is nuts, and they don't care about Ferrari's history. They want, and if they don't get, hell needs to be paid. So this will cause a stir on social media if things don't go so well. Another reason why the expectations are high is because of the huge sum of money that is involved with the Hamilton contract. The numbers are mind-boggling, and I do realize that he's getting paid for his image, as well as for what happens on track. Seeing Hamilton dressed sharply, stepping out of an exclusive Ferrari will be good for business, of that I'm sure. I just wonder, if the winless drought continues, there's going to be someone on the board that says, hey, why are we paying this guy that much if we can have Behrman for only 1 million a season? I'm convinced they want to see more than P9 and P8, even if the car isn't the best. So the high expectations of the driver to the team to the driver, and the fans to both is something that is resting on the success of Lewis Hamilton at Ferrari, and that is something that is felt. Strongest teammate. At Ferrari, Lewis Hamilton will be partnered up with Ferrari's favorite love child, Charles Leclerc. Leclerc joined Ferrari in 2019 after a year at Sauber and immediately started beating four-time world champion Sebastian Vettel. Vettel was replaced by Carlos Sainz, and those two have been pretty evenly matched in a few seasons, plagued with errors and DNFs. I made a video last year about Carlos Sainz being underrated, which he was at the time, while still acknowledging that Leclerc has more raw pace than Sainz. I'm very curious to see where Carlos will go in 2025. But that's content for another video. What we've seen between those two drivers at Ferrari is that they battled long and hard each time the opportunity was there. The Ferrari pit wall was always hesitant to place team orders. It was usually already too late when they finally did. Now imagine Lewis Hamilton getting a radio saying he has to stay behind Charles. Or better yet, a call to hold other cars up to let Leclerc win. That's pretty unthinkable. But it happened to Sainz. This will cause drama, and that will lead to points being lost. Another thing that Team LH seems to think is that Hamilton will easily get the better of Leclerc. They love calling him Lecrash. I'm not so sure Hamilton will beat Leclerc. In fact, I'm pretty sure he can't. Charles has been embedded in that team for years now. He speaks Italian, which is a big thing in Italy, and Leclerc is younger and a super fast driver. The qualifying battle will definitely go to Leclerc, as I think that he does that even better than Verstappen. In races, Leclerc will start in front of Hamilton then, and this will matter in strategy and also for tyre wear. Having to overtake other drivers first will make it harder on tyres, so I don't see Hamilton beating Leclerc on track either, to be honest. Then there's the thing that Sainz was excellent at, making his own strategy calls. Like for instance in Monaco 2022, when he decided to stay on wets until it was dry enough to switch to soft to dry tyres. That was a brilliant call from the Spaniard, especially if you compare that to Lewis being asked about tyres or strategies. He always says, I don't know man, you tell me man. And then when the team makes the call after a few laps, he says, I don't know if that's the right tyre man. I rate Bono, Hamilton's engineer at Mercedes, and the team behind him higher than the strategy team of Ferrari. So that's going to be fun to watch. So if Scuderia Ferrari has a title contending car in 2025, Lewis Hamilton will have to beat his teammate first and then Max Verstappen before he can win that 8th title. That is a huge challenge, and I don't think Lewis Hamilton in this form at this age is up to that challenge. So in conclusion, it's great that Hamilton put the silly season in motion with his move, and it will be awesome to see him in Ferrari red promoting exclusive cars. The expectations, a ticking clock, and a super strong teammate will make his stay at Ferrari a hell of an interesting story to follow next season. Subscribe. Take care now. Doei doei.